I don't think the Trump administration thinks this is funny because they have no sense of humor, right? Especially the micropenis part, which is what everybody thinks of Donald Trump. He has a micropenis.
Well, I mean, Kara, I can see the tie.
Hi, everyone. This is Pivot from New York Magazine and the Vox Media Podcast Network. I'm Kara Swisher, and August rolls on. Welcome back to Scott-Free August. Do you like that? Do you like our sting? Scott is still, before I introduce you, yes, Scott is still away, and I know he misses me terribly. He's been posting a lot, pretending he's still on the show, but pretty much he's gone, and he's sitting on the beach wishing because there's so much news. But in his place, once again, I have yet another amazing co-host. He's a critic at large for the New York Times and two-time Pulitzer Prize winner, which Scott will never win, and the host of the Times' brand new podcast, Cannonball. It's Wesley Morris.
I can't believe this is happening to Scott again.
I mean, day after day, it's another fantastic person who is so more well qualified to be my partner than other people. So I'm thrilled that you are here. Let me just explain what your podcast is all about. And you had a very popular podcast. Obviously, the New York Times is glowing up the whole podcast division with videos and this and that. So talk about where the name Cannonball came from, and talk a little bit about your podcasting history, because it's been terrific, actually.
Thank you. Well, Jay Wortham and I had this show called Still Processing. It was, one of the happiest things I've ever been involved with. And now I'm doing this other culture show. And I mean, mostly it's me sort of thinking through, art, TV shows, movies, books, sports. I mean, anything that I'm kind of curious about, and trying to make these connections between one thing to another thing. Usually, so far it's been me talking to other people about what's coming up for them as I'm trying to work out my stuff with the other person. And the name, I wanted to call this show some other things.
Tell me the name you wanted. I know how the New York Times is about names. I shoved mine through so hard. But
did you have to fight to get Sway called Sway?
Oh, yeah. But
really?
You know what? I didn't care. I refused to do it without the name. But what was the name you wanted? Tell me the name.
I wanted to call it Parlando.
Prolando?
Parlando.
I love that.
Which, for our musicologist friends,
explain that,
please.
Please.
It's essentially, it's an opera term, and it essentially means to sing in a manner that is recognizable as speech, essentially. But there's a great tradition of parlando in pop music. We just don't really call it that. But some of your favorite singers are parlando. I don't know, Kara. I don't want to accuse you of being a Leonard Cohen fan.
Oh yeah, no, they talk. Yeah,
or a Grace Jones fan.
Yeah.
But I wanted to call the show that because I can't sing, but I can talk.
You can parlando,
and
it could have been a verb.
It could have been a verb. But what's great about Cannonball?
What?
Is that I have discovered that I have been using it at people when they come on, both as a verb, like we cannonballed.
Oh, good. So you're going to make it into something.
It already is a verb, right? That is how we're using it.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, like you're in a pool and you do a cannonball.
Dingity ding ding
song, ding. Yeah, there's the song Cannonball. Do you play that on the show?
No, I think that probably costs $500,000. I would love to give Kim Deal that money.
Yeah.
But I don't think we have a great theme song. I love our theme song. A guy named Justin Ellington did it. Mm-hmm. It's wonderful. It is so not Cannonball, by the Breeders, but it's something as good as far as I'm concerned. You don't like Cannonball the song? I didn't want to let that slip by.
I don't love the Cannonball. I don't know. I guess it reminds me of my youth, I guess. Whenever I hear it, I'm like, ugh. There's it's not like a song. It's not the song. It's something that happened during the song. I don't know. Maybe teenage.
We got to recover this memory. This is 1993, I want to say. Last Splash is like 93, 94.
94, yeah.
I want to recover the memory, though, because it really, there are these cultural artifacts that are, you can't quite there are things where like,
Yeah.
exactly why you feel the way you feel about it. But then there are
Yeah.
these other things that they're not Proustian. Like, I can't say in your case if this is or is not a Proustian experience.
It's not
but
one
like,
of the high ones. I mean, Landslide, forget it. That's that
ooh.
Landslide. That one I listen to and weep. That one.
But do you
That
know
was coming out.
why?
I had a crush on a friend of mine, and I was
Mhm.
gay, and I listened to it a lot. I just I can't believe I'm telling you this. That's
But
what happened.
I
That's what
think that's an
I love
important
that
one,
song.
but you can
Yeah.
identify why Landslide is a song you love.
Yes.
Cannonball being a song you don't like.
Let's see, 94. What was it? What was I doing in 1994? God, it was so long ago.
If you can't remember what was going on then, that's
Washington,
another
D.C.,
I
Washington
thought I was going to ask if you were in
Post.
DC. That's
I was
important.
at the Washington Post.
Mhm.
I just become a reporter, I was in the business section.
Mm.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe it's got to be a relationship.
I mean,
they're all relation. I don't even
were you
remember who I
going
was
to
going with.
bars? Were you going
No,
out?
I'm not a bar person.
Mhm.
I'm not. That's the whole thing. You
Did
know my wife, Amanda, she loves a bar.
Yeah,
For
I
sure.
mean,
She
Amanda's one
loves
of
to
my
dance.
favorite
I don't
human
like to
beings.
dance. I know. It's
Wait, you're
like,
not a dancer?
I'm not. It's just like my son and Amanda always joke. One of my sons and Amanda always joke that I don't like swimming. I don't like dancing. I don't like bars. Just such a
Well, were you
bummer.
missing out in DC? Because DC strikes
Maybe.
me as having like some great,
Yes.
like having had anyway,
Yes.
some great
Yeah.
gay bars.
Yes, it did. It did. It did. There still are a couple there, except now, like it's populated by the government. But we'll
Yeah, I
talk
was going to
about that
say
in a minute.
they really. Can we talk about that?
We're going to. We're going to. We've
Like,
got a lot to get to.
why are they hanging out at the gay bars?
Because they're.
Listen, Kara.
It's always been an issue. Anyway, all right, we're going to get to a lot of things. Anyway, Cannonball. So you talked to. Who's the last person you talked to on Cannonball? Let's focus on
that
you.
the public can hear. It's probably
Yeah.
Vincent Cunningham. He and I talked about the new Spike Lee movie, Highest to Lowest.
Right.
That happened this week. And then next week is going to be a conversation with me and Sam Anderson talking about old summer movies. I had this feeling that this summer was going to be really dry.
It was, in fact.
And it
The
was, in
numbers are
fact,
just
dry.
kinda-
And, it was the usual thing that happens now with our summers. You get a lot of sequels, a lot of, eighth editions
Remakes.
of something.
Superman.
But, my favorite movie from this summer is Weapons. I don't know if you've seen this movie yet.
I
Have you
can't
seen
see it. It's scary. I don't like scary
Kara, you
movies.
gotta
Yes,
just,
that's
like-
another thing I can't do.
Really?
I can't. I know it's like Sinners. I finally went to Sinners. I did. I thought it was scary, and then it was fantastic.
This is scarier than Sinners to me.
I know, exactly. This guy is a very gifted filmmaker. It's very clear. It's incredible. But the arms with the kids.
Yeah. I mean,
I just don't like that. I don't know why that upset me, and I don't want to see it, and I don't want it. I've seen it in the posters, and I don't want to see it in my head. Like I was just in my town. I was driving through. It was on Long Island doing something, which the New York Post has reported about. They were filming The Devil Wears Prada 2 out there. I won't say more.
shit!
The
A
New York
ticket
Post
has
wrote about
just
it.
been sold.
All right. Very minor situation. So I grew up there, and there was a movie theater that used to be there, and I saw Tales from the Crypt there. When I was a kid with my brother. He dragged me on a rainy day. I had a turkey sandwich in my pocket, which, by the way, stayed there for too long later. But it was from the Clock Tower restaurant, and that I did not like seeing that movie. That upset me. There was a Santa that was evil in it,
I
etc.
remember.
Remember that movie? And I was with my brother in an old movie theater, and I never forgive him for taking me to that movie. So I don't see horror movies very much. But this one is since then. I saw Halloween once, and I did not appreciate it, even though I very much like Jamie Lee Curtis.
I mean, Halloween's that's a no-brainer in terms of just like a really visceral movie-going experience. You had a bad what?
Well, a guy grabbed my legs during the scary scene behind me because he had seen it before, and I have a bad experience with horror. So this one looks beautifully done horror movie, so that's why I imagine it would stick with me.
It's very good. Anyway, the point of bringing that up is
Weapons. Yeah,
Weapons is the only thing. It's one of the few things this summer based on an original screenplay. And
Right. So when Sinners sort of bled into summer, right? So Sinners was
yeah,
earlier,
the
but
conversation around it did.
bled
And
into summer.
I think, you know, part of the reason Sam and I wanted to talk about old movies is because we didn't think we were going to get any good new ones this summer. Turns out that is basically true. I mean, we got Weapons and like some residual Sinners conversation because it
Right.
arrived,
Late
I don't
in the
know, on
spring.
one of these streaming platforms, probably HBO Max. Which I'm just saying HBO. I don't know what we're
So you
doing
do
here.
whatever you
Just
want because they'll change it next
HBO.
week. What was your favorite old movie?
Old
Curious.
movie?
Yeah.
I mean,
Summer
the
movie.
thing that Sam Anderson and I talk about is Ghost, but and
Oh,
Total
I love
Recall.
that
Those are
movie.
our two movies.
I
But
love that movie.
that's
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 amazing.
the summer of 1990.
Yeah, you know what the
Um,
Swishers watch every year here on the summer vacation? I'm on it. Is Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse. That
oh
was so
wow.
good. So it
Well,
holds up.
why
It might
that
have been a
movie?
summer because we love it because there's so many great lines in it. Go watch it, Wesley.
I mean,
Your life will be
listen,
changed
my life has already been changed.
by Patrick Swayze.
I
I
mean,
love.
many times. I
Well,
mean,
Ghost was amazing. And I
uh-huh.
just love Patrick Swayze. I really do. I don't know, like dance. The dancing movie.
He's a Dirty
Yeah,
Dancing.
Dirty Dancing. Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
strange movie star
He
that we'll
is, but
never
he's
get
wonderful.
again because, you know, he's
So
not
sweet.
really good at anything.
No, but he's a good dancer. That's not true. He's a beautiful dancer.
That's true.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
he was a ballet
he's good
dancer.
enough for the movies.
Yeah, he
Um,
was a good dancer.
but what
Go
I would
watch
say
Roadhouse.
is like the thing that's great about Patrick Swayze as a person on camera
Mm-hmm.
is he's got all the intangible things,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, handsomeness, but also a little swagger, but like
Mm-hmm.
a real vulnerability or an
He's
access
feminine. He's got a
to
femininity to him.
yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I think that there's that conflation of several different like his gender spectrum is bright and functioning simultaneously with every
Yeah.
performance.
He's just a sweetheart. I just think he's
And he
I
seems
just
like a
love to watch him.
kind person. Yes.
He
Yes.
does. And he's always great. We're going to be nice until it's time not to be nice.
Yeah, Point
Just
Break.
no, that was Roadhouse. Point Break was another one he was
Yeah.
amazing in.
I mean,
I love the
I forgot. I can't
Yeah.
quote Roadhouse the way
I
you
can
can
quote
quote it. Okay.
Roadhouse. That's correct. And we sit around and we insult the Jake Gyllenhaal version. Before we watch the regular Roadhouse, we say, we curse the remake of it, even though there's some very good actors in it. It's terrible.
I feel bad for the remade Roadhouse. I don't know why they did it. I'm a big Jake Gyllenhaal person. I don't like him doing movie star karaoke. Like the idea of him doing Patrick Swayze and Harrison Ford in the same year, essentially. I didn't like it, but I mean, because he's his own thing, right? Like, I don't think that he needs to.
I'm not a fan. I love that he was doing that movie this summer that Taylor Swift had her enormous tour because it was like,
Yeah.
here he was in
Yeah.
sad little Roadhouse and she was billionaires selling out stadiums
Well,
everywhere.
I mean, I don't want to skip ahead or anything, but I did find that part of that podcast conversation that she had with the Kelsey brothers to be really fascinating when she's like, my favorite part of that entire re-recording odyssey was getting to do her 10-minute version of All Too Well, which allegedly, is about the person we were just discussing.
Of course it is. We're going to get to her too. All right,
Okay.
look, we got the cannonball.
I'm not trying to rush us.
Okay, you're rushing us. You're not rushing us. We got lots of things to talk about. We've been talking just a little bit. This week you're talking about Spike Lee's latest movie. Last week you were talking about the series finale of And Just Like That.
Listen, did you watch that show?
Hello, I love
Okay.
Sarah Jessica Parker. I'm not of the haters. I mean, I can see why people watch it, but I love. It was so fuck you. I love a fuck you.
Yeah.
Like to everybody.
Yeah.
I love it. The poop, like, oh my God, they really did that. And then her last
really did
thing
it.
was like, fuck you. I'm gonna dance away in my thing.
Yeah.
Did you like it or not? You probably hate watched it.
No, I love the show.
Okay, I love the show.
I really think it's one of the great projects about friendship that we've ever had.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care if we're talking about books, movies, TV. I mean, it's one of the great works of friendship, and all the vicissitudes of being close to people. for a long time.
Can I give you a premise? You remember when they got into trouble for not being diverse enough? There's lots of shows of dudes, white dudes, black dudes, all kinds of dudes kind of thing, where there's never diversity among them, right? This show got slapped for it in a way that other shows don't. And I thought it was really interesting as I watched it. I was trying to think of a popular show that didn't really try very hard. That was the thing is, it was on forever, I guess. That's because it was so long.
98 to, now more or less, right?
As much as I hate to say it, this is probably what a lot of, if the people they're depicting, their lives would have been like this. So they were kind of depicting the lives. They wouldn't have had a lot of diverse friends necessarily, unless, unless they sort of, Venn diagrammed into fashion, I guess, right? Which is
right. But no, I agree with you. I mean, I don't want, I live in New York City.
Yeah.
I go to restaurants all the time. And you know what I see a lot of the time when I go out is 4 white ladies. Just yucking it up.
Yucking it up.
And I think I didn't need that to be the case if that wasn't the case from the beginning.
Right.
But I think the amazing, sort of one of the cool things about the And Just Like That project was it was going to take a different risk, right? It was going to absorb the criticism of the show not being, quote, diverse enough.
Right.
Which did anybody say Tony Soprano needs a black friend?
That's what I was thinking of. I was like, there were no black people on well, no, never.
I mean, there were some, but they weren't major characters. I mean, they were like ancillary. You get an episode where Christopher was hanging out with some Negroes, right? That's what would happen.
Yeah.
Right. But I think that, the idea that these women would come back, minus Samantha, and be put into a post-George Floyd United States, what would it then mean for them to be able to stay on HBO, for one thing, and during this period? But also, what would be realistic? What would be a realistic experience for them as women who were realizing that the world had changed and that they were part of the problem in some way without actually saying, hey, we're part of the problem. Right. Like Charlotte goes on it, like Charlotte, Carrie, and Miranda go on these respective crusades to find some non-white people.
So the ones that you have would made sense, would have maybe happened, right?
Yes, it didn't feel forced to me.
Her name? Yes, it didn't feel when they got past Che, it didn't feel forced because I thought the woman who played the real estate agent was amazing, and then the filmmaker
Sarita Chowdhury,
amazing.
That is one of the best performances on a show.
I love her.
That I can think of. I mean, I with all due respect to, I bow down Kim Cattrall, but this is just a deeper version of the same character to me.
I believe I've met that person.
I met
real estate lady who's like a killer.
Yes.
And the same thing with I'm totally blanking
Lisa, Nicole Ari Parker. Yeah.
Amazing. I've met that woman. Met that woman.
I know her.
And she would have hung out with them. Anyway, I love that show. And let me just say, I love Sarah Jessica Parker. I know her a little bit. And she's actually a fan of Pivot. She may be listening to this. I think she has delivered more entertainment. I always think of who delivers more entertainment in their lifetime. And she certainly has in lots of roles,
But I actually think that what you're identifying is something interesting about her, which is that, we haven't really... I don't know. I have not experienced a useful or enlightening appreciation of what it is that she did both as Carrie and what kind of entertainer she's been all this time. I think that there's something one of the things I loved and sometimes cringed at, but loved the nerve of in her work as Carrie is that, Carrie Bradshaw was somebody who was very present to the moment in the late 90s and early 2000s, 100%. Right? She kind of had a really great white B-girl energy. And there was a little hip-hop dimension to her glamour. And the way that she would both incorporate black slang and borscht belt comedy.
Agreed.
Into her like throwaway line deliveries. I always thought that was great.
Yeah.
The way she could screw her face up was, that's like 1930s, 1940s screwball.
Yeah.
I just think that performance is very, very
To the
good.
end.
And it
To the
got
end.
to the end. And
To
it
the
got
end.
better.
Yeah.
It got even
the last
better.
4 episodes were amazing.
Yes, I agree.
I think she's great. I would give her kudos. She was also in a movie that was about a family where she was sort of the girlfriend that nobody liked.
Family Stone, the knockoff Home for the Holidays. Yeah.
Yes, but I love that movie because I loved her performance in it, because she was sort of this difficult woman and she didn't hide it and her difficulty, and then she falls in love with the other brother, etc. But I loved her in that movie. I don't know why. I appreciated her after
part of
movie.
that great stretch that she had in the movies because of the show.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you can remember this, Kara, her like early 90s version of herself. I don't know if you remember this, but there was this movie with Bruce Willis as some kind of like river cop, like coastal guard cop, called Striking Distance.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no, they're on the river in Pittsburgh. Yeah. She was in that.
She was his partner, I believe.
She was driving a boat. Oh, that's like when Meryl Streep drove a boat. Remember that?
The River Wild. Who could forget?
May I say she's the classiest dame I've ever met. I won't say how. Anyway, President Trump is... We're moving on. President Trump is accusing...
We can't go from Meryl Streep to President Trump.
We are, because historically
right.
speaking,
Right.
she's been in many history movies, that's why. President Trump is accusing Smithsonian of focusing too much on, quote, how bad slavery was, and not enough on the brightness of America. Trump said in a post on Truth Social, he's directed his attorneys to go through the museums and start the same process done with universities across the country. He also noted the country cannot be woke because woke is broke. The comments come a week after the White House announced a sweeping review of the Smithsonian. Museums were given 120 days to change content the Trump administration finds problematic in tone, historical framing, and alignment with American ideals. I mean, please just go on. Please just pontificate on what is happening here. How bad slavery was.
Here, can I start
So
here?
bad.
Can I start here? Here?
You may start wherever you
I
want.
want to take you back to February 21st, 2017.
Okay.
This is like a month after the inauguration.
Yeah.
And I mean, because this is what I've been thinking about. This man, a month after the inauguration, gets a tour of the relatively still new Smithsonian Museum of African American History and Culture, which we at my house call the Blacksonian. The president
I like that name.
gets a tour of this museum from Lonnie Bunch, the man who is now in charge of the whole Smithsonian system is under fire to gladden it up.
Right.
President Trump gives this speech. I have the entire speech. I'm not going to read all of it.
Okay, please
But
don't.
Kara, I'm gonna just like read some of it because I don't recognize this person. This person is a different person. I am very proud of Lonnie Bunch. The work and the love that he has done in his heart and for what he's done is, I always need to talk. He's like, this is not a written speech. I always need to talk to you. I always need to talk about you need enthusiasm. You need really love for anything. You do it successfully. And Lonnie, where are you? Come on, Lonnie. I'll skip ahead. Then he thanks David Rubenstein, who he just fired from the Kennedy Center.
Yeah.
It's a privilege to be here today. This museum is a beautiful tribute to so many American heroes. Heroes like Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington, Rosa Parks, the Greensboro students, the students who had a sit-in at a Woolworth in Greensboro, North Carolina, the African American Medal of Honor recipients, among so many other really incredible heroes. It's amazing to see. I went to we did a pretty comprehensive tour, but not comprehensive enough, Kara. Not comprehensive enough. So Lonnie, I'll be back. I told you that because I could stay here for a lot longer. Believe me, it's really incredible. I am deeply proud. I am deeply proud that we now have a museum that honors the millions of African-American men and women who built our national heritage, especially when it comes to faith, culture and the unbreakable American spirit. My wife was here last week and took a tour, and it was something that she still is talking about. Ivanka is here right now. Hi, Ivanka. And it is really very special. It's something that, frankly, if you want to know the truth, it's doing so well that everybody's talking about it.
Incredible. Well, he was told what to
you
say.
Tell me what's happening.
Because he had people around him who were like, this is a good thing. And, look, I'm sorry. I think Donald Trump's been a racist since forever.
Come on. I mean, who are we talking about?
Forever. Like, never not been a racist. And so this is what's happened between age, power, and not being stopped by someone, not having a governor on him.
With this. Yes.
He now is showing you exactly who he is. Like, slavery is like how bad, why is it too much on how bad slavery was? There is not a number of how bad it was, right? There is not a number high enough to do it. But I think he just was told what to do there. And he had, I hate to say it, he had Ivanka there.
You mean in the first February 21st,
yes.
February 17th, 2020, or
he had people who were like,
yes,
slavery was bad. Let's stick with slavery was bad on this one. Terrible, the worst thing ever. And the original sin, whatever. There's several original sins, but
he wants them all gone. So
all gone. I mean, so what do you think about these attempts? And do you think he just will not give up on this woke thing, which is nuts? And there was a bunch of interviews in front of the museum, and they showed people what he said, like all kinds of people, not just like what you'd imagine be angry about it, but they were like, what?
Yeah.
What? Like, talk about this and what they're trying to do here from a cultural point of view.
They're trying to purify. They're trying to create some idea of a thing that has been being attempted for 400 years.
It's
right?
True.
It's
not a new thing. Right?
A racially purified. Well, it's just never been achieved, right? There's never been. Not even Woodrow Wilson has gone as far as Trump is trying to go, and Wilson was
racist,
all but a KKK member.
Right.
I think that this is propaganda at its most blatant, right? This is the beginning of something, right? I mean, if you look at the prongs that are laid out on this table, essentially holding it up. You've got the National Guard down the street, probably around the museums now,
exactly.
right?
Because those black people act up a lot. Like that's where they would put the National Guard, like idiots, like where no crime is taking place. But we'll get into that.
Right, but where, like, in a city where if you ask the average DC resident, like, could things be a little better from the standpoint of public safety? They would say yes.
Of course.
Do I think the solution to that is the National Guard? No, it's housing.
Yes.
It's let people go to sleep. I mean, this is my number one thing about like what we call crime and mental health situations. I think a lot of this stuff is just, I think stress and not having a place to actually reset your brain every night contributes to what we probably wouldn't even qualify certain aspects of urban crime as mental illness, because we've been culturally conditioned to think of it as gang warfare.
As
but
bad
like
people.
and the people suck. But no, it's the systemic conditions that have led people to behave this way. Now, I'm not trying, whatever. This is a whole other aspect of this conversation.
Including slavery. But
right.
Yeah.
But I think that the point here is that something is being gotten underway, essentially, right? And I think purifying the story of American history is part of it. I think creating an environment in which they can use Washington, D.C. as a test case for how this might go once you start rolling it out in Detroit, Chicago, Philadelphia, New York City, Los Angeles.
I mean, he's describing cities as blood-soaked and cesspools, which I'm like, no, they're not. I have raised children in D.C. and San Francisco.
But, Kara, I'm actually curious about this because I think it only takes one upset white woman to have an experience that she didn't like and for that to reach somebody on the staff of this administration or to
Absolutely.
reach him, right?
Oh, well, in this case, it was Big Balls, right? Big Balls got beat up on 14th Street, which is not as, it's crazy on Saturday night. It is. I lived over there, and I lived a block away. And it's a city. Like, I don't know what to say. It's a city. Like, all cities have their issues, and you don't want to minimize crime, but the idea of maximizing it and create, it's almost pornographic in the way they're maximizing it, like bloodbath, ongoing this. It's like just not true.
Yeah, it does not correspond with the reality that most people are living. But I will say that, I mean, I can't speak to its effectiveness. I think what you're telling me about when people are like man on the streeting responses to the news that he wants to like remove slavery from a museum that, is telling the story from slavery to like the glorious things that African Americans have contributed to this country. And how you can't, if you remove slavery and we're not America anymore.
Right.
Like,
and
who are we?
They will be removing the glorious things, just so you know. It's not just slavery was bad, but white people did the most things. I mean, I think that's what's happening here. I mean, although talk a little bit about the Kennedy Center Honors, because it goes there too, speaking of cultural impacts. It includes Kiss, Sylvester Stallone, and Gloria Gaynor. The country music star they picked,
George Strait.
Good country music star. I'm sorry. I mean,
I think
Stallone. I'm not against Stallone, even though I think he's kind of heinous in many ways. I think he's culturally relevant in some fashion. Talk a little bit about these honors. What do they say about?
Well, it's funny. I'm going to do an episode
culture.
about these 5 people and this particular
Who's the
situation.
fifth? Kiss, Sylvester Stallone, Gloria Gaynor, George Strait.
Michael Crawford.
Again, important Broadway star, no question.
He's not getting, like, under ordinary circumstances, is Michael Crawford. Like, can I give you a list of people who have not been Kennedy-centered?
Yes, I get it. You start with, has Audra McDonald gotten one yet? I don't know.
I mean, no, she is not.
Yes,
has Madonna? I mean,
Yeah.
There's so many people.
No
like
one,
the list
Democrats
is long.
aren't giving it to Madonna either. But
but somebody on the board at some point would just be like, listen, I think it's kind of cool that Madonna hasn't gotten it because it's kind of, it's sort of a badge of honor. But the idea that Julia Roberts is inducting George Clooney X number of years ago and she hasn't been Kennedy-centered.
She is, that's
Glenn Close. I mean, there's just like a long list of people who have who've not gotten it.
Right.
But here we are, right? But I actually think that, Sylvester Stallone and George Strait, those are no-brainers to me.
Yeah, I agree.
That's easy. That's not hard. Gloria Gaynor, I don't know what that is. Listen, there's a part of me. There's a part of me that's like, I don't know, there's still a little DEI left in this administration.
Yeah. They needed to find a person of color who would say yes. And who could they get? I mean,
but even they still feel a kind of pressure to acknowledge that even though they're letting all these Afrikaners in the country under victimization statutes of some kind,
we got to find one. We got to find one. Are you going to go? I used to cover the Kennedy Center Honors for the Washington Post, just so you know, when I was a young rep. Speaking of my time, that was my job, one of the jobs in the style section. I have to say it was a ball because it was like amazing.
Fun.
It was really fun. I mean, Trump's hosting, which could be hysterical.
He's hosting for now. I don't know how that's going to go. Can you imagine? Like, what are the rehearsals? Well,
who are they going to get? Who are they going to get?
Wait, stop for 1 second.
What? I'm sorry.
This man is going to have to go to rehearsals.
I know. But he loves that. He doesn't want to rehearse. He's just going to extemporaneously talk about how slavery wasn't that bad.
And broadcast it live on CBS, which is also what they want to do.
Yeah, I know.
Typically, for anybody who doesn't know, this is a ceremony that happens a month before anybody in the public gets to see it.
That's right.
They have a month to make a television show out of this live event.
Right, that's right.
You can't you could broadcast it live if everybody's on their P's and Q's.
It will be broadcast live. Stop it. You know that. I mean, in today's, whatever CBS does in their behaviors, it doesn't matter. Are you going to go? You need to go.
Oh my
I
God.
need you
Are
to
you
go.
assigning me?
I'm assigning you to go and do a show about it. You need to go.
I am going to do an episode about the nominees and like the rightness and wrongness of having the president choose them. But I guess I don't know. I could try. I could. That's like I'm going to think about that because you're right. Maybe it would be
But
worth
he's
going.
trying to culturally take over this old aged
He's going to rename it
man.
after him. He's going to
That's
rename the
right.
center after him. He's already on his way to naming the
Trump
opera house after
Center.
Melania.
The Trump Center. No, that's not going to work.
What, the Donald J. Trump Center? We're not going to call it the Trump Center? I've been listening to you talk about this man for years. You are one of the smartest people on this person. I think that you understand I think you understand him. You're one of the people who understands him. Yeah.
That's because my mother is Trump. But go ahead.
I know. I mean, I think the people who have the biggest insights into him understand him as a family member, right?
Yeah. For sure.
But I also feel like, it's funny because I feel lucky because I felt like, in my house, it was pictures of John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King. That was who, my grandmother and her sisters had around the house.
My mother liked Jackie's outfits, but that's different.
But I think that there is, I just am curious about, he's like a stopped clock in some ways. So that when he says like things at the Kennedy, like there aren't good shows at the Kennedy Center, it's not true, but some of the things didn't work.
Yeah.
Right? Not everything was great that went on there. I mean, in terms of like the quality of the thing, not morally bad.
There had been. Years ago, I saw when Audra McDonald, her first show, Masterclass, with Zoe Caldwell.
You saw the original Masterclass?
I saw it 6 times. She was amazing.
Wow.
And I saw Spalding Gray there doing his show. It was amazing there, another one of his shows. And so there used to be a lot more interesting things there, and then it just became like.
But the fact of the matter is, the point is like the like great people who made that place an exciting place to go do anything have gone. Like Ben Folds split, one of my favorite like performers, Ben Folds. I love him. He's out. Renee Fleming hit the road. And now he's taken over the board. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Kicked
truly
out David Rubenstein.
Well, the telling thing about this whole Kennedy Center thing is, I don't know if you caught this, but when he gave that press conference talking about like how bad it was and talking about how he was going to take over, like he was going to host the show, he said, I want one of these. I wanted one of these.
He wanted an honor. He does. He wants everything. He wants a Nobel Prize.
I waited and waited and waited. And I said, the hell with it. I'll become chairman.
That's right.
I'll give myself an honor. Maybe next year we'll honor Trump.
Yep.
That's what he said.
We probably will have to. Although I would enjoy
that.
What
the fuck?
I say yes. Because I just want to see the whole horrible thing. All right, well, we have to go on a quick break. When we come back, the White House joins TikTok. Support for Pivot comes from Groons. If you've ever done a deep internet dive trying to discover different nutrition solutions, you've likely had the thought, surely there's a way to improve my skin, gut health, immunity, brain fog, without offending my taste buds. Well, there is. It's called Groons. Groons are a convenient, comprehensive formula packed into a daily snack pack of gummies. It's not a multivitamin, a greens gummy, or a prebiotic. It's all of those things and then some for a fraction of the price. In a Groons daily snack pack, you get more than 20 vitamins and minerals, 6 grams of prebiotic fiber, plus more than 60 ingredients. They include nutrient-dense and whole foods, all of which will help you out in different ways. For example, Groons has 6 times the gut health ingredients compared to the leading greens powders. It contains biotin and niacinamide, which helps with thicker hair, nails, and skin health. They also contain mushrooms, which can help with brain function. And of course, you're probably familiar with vitamin C and how great it's for your immune system. On top of it all, Groons are vegan and free of dairy, nuts, and gluten. Get up to 52% off when you go to Groons.co and use the code PIVOT. That's GRUNS.co using the code PIVOT for 52% off. Wesley, we're back. TikTok just got a new user, the White House. The Trump administration launched an official account this week, despite the fact that a federal law requires TikTok to be sold or banned, though Trump keeps extending the deadline illegally, by the way. The new White House account posted several videos, including one in which Trump says, "I am your voice." Posts were quickly flooded with spam and negative comments, many referencing the Epstein files. Trump
Oh,
is
wow.
reportedly still working on a deal for U.S. investors to buy TikTok from its parent company, ByteDance. Probably Larry Ellison will be involved in that. The latest deadline for the ban expires in mid-September. He keeps extending it. Talk about him using TikTok. And years ago, just so people don't know, he called TikTok a national security threat in 2020 and tried to ban it back then. Then he shifted when one of his biggest donors, he realized, was one of the biggest investors in it, Jeff Yass. So any thoughts on them doing this?
I gotta be honest. Well, first of all, I would have just assumed that the White House had already had a TikTok account before
Me too.
this guy got
Same
back into
thing.
office. Not that Biden would have been all over it or anything,
Yeah.
but there would have been some like young person in the Biden administration who's like, "Hey, Uncle Joe,
Yeah.
here's some shaky
had a
camera."
pretty good. They had a pretty good social media group there.
Yeah, I mean,
Thought they did.
so I'm surprised by that. But I also, this as a story, I know that I'm supposed to be disturbed and upset by the idea of simultaneously the national security threat being addressed. Legitimately, you got to find somebody else to do this. Can't let the Chinese government involved in, our private business. I think the ship has sailed. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I do.
If you were on it, they got it. I think it's a wrap. It's how many, like every are there new TikTok users besides the White House?
Yeah. No,
Like
I agree. TikToks, that's what I always thought would
they
happen. It
got
would just
everything.
decline.
They
It
don't
would
need
just
anything else.
they don't I just think like most of these media things, they'll go up and down, and TikTok's not on the ascension necessarily. I don't know what the new thing will be. Probably YouTube in many ways, oddly
How do
enough.
YouTube knew how? Like in terms
I
of
mean,
growth?
growth. Yeah, when you look at the
Mhm,
growth, I think
mhm,
they've
mhm,
been
mhm,
they're fine. They're sort of baked in.
mhm.
Threads is actually growing bigger than X right now, which is really interesting. They're reaching the
Interesting.
same daily users. I think Blue Sky is doing fine. Well, I think what's happened is everything's gotten dissipated in terms of social media, and then
So
certain
there's
things
just more,
break
there
through.
are more options.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
depending on or people not using it as much. My kids use Reddit. That's it. YouTube and Reddit. That's the
Interesting.
whole thing. That's
Interesting.
their entire. They don't participate. I've noticed I don't use social media as much.
I am having a
I'm not
love
on
affair with
Twitter
Reddit.
at all.
I
Reddit is
I
great,
I
actually.
I I I'd sort of been led to well, what's interesting is that Google sort of is giving me more Reddit threads in my
Mhm.
searches than I'd ever
Oh,
been getting
interesting. Are
before.
you still using Google for search? Interesting.
Yeah, I'm in a relationship with I'm not even gonna take that as shade, Kara.
You're in
I
ChatGPT. I
don't
bet you do use it.
No, I'm
No, you
not.
don't?
But I'm probably gonna get there because I'm in a relationship with a man who is, I love a man who loves
Mhm.
their ChatGPT, but he is really good at it. And I'm learning that you can't treat ChatGPT like any
You
old Google
can't.
search.
It's not. It's a
You
relationship.
can't get cheap with
No,
ChatGPT. You
you
gotta
can't.
wine and dine in
You gotta
ChatGPT.
the prompt. The
Yes, you
prompt
gotta
is
talk to it.
the
You gotta make
prompt.
love to
What's the
ChatGPT.
Oh my god.
You gotta really like give it what it wants. If you
Oh
like,
god.
it's like, what ain't nothing going on but the rent.
Yeah.
Use what you got to get what you want.
Yeah. You do. You
You
gotta
gotta give
develop a relationship.
ChatGPT what it needs,
Yeah. Does he step out with any other
I
LLM?
mean, he's tried
Off
everything.
over to Claude. Over to
He's
Claude.
wait, there's a
Claude doesn't
Claude?
Claude, yes,
Who's
Anthropic.
Claude?
Anthropic. Oh,
Oh
Wesley.
no, Kara,
Ask your man.
my man is
Claude.
secretly out with Claude pretending to love
Claude.
ChatGPT with
That's
me.
right. Claude. There's a lot. Claude is pretty good, actually. Everyone is a different one. And
But
then
I
there's
think
Google, Gemini.
I just think my point is when I'm using boring ass, basic ass Google,
Well, Google is
which
now Gemini, really. The
which
answers
works
come
for
in
me.
AI, by the
But
way. You've noticed the
yeah, I have noticed that, and I
Right.
don't like it. A lot of the time
You'll
it's
learn to
wrong.
like it.
Yeah,
You'll
even though
learn
it's
to
not
like it.
right. It's
It'll
like
get right.
right-ish.
It'll get right.
Okay.
It'll get right. It'll get right.
But Reddit is the thing that Google is now pushing me. Like it's near the top of a lot of my
I love
searches
Reddit.
when I'm looking for information. So I've become a Reddit person. Like I'll just go to Reddit now.
There used to be a
and
lot
get
of heinous
information.
stuff on there, but the people who are running it have
That's what
really
kept me
made
away.
it.
Something
Yeah.
changed. Something
It did.
changed.
It's you know what it is? It's a consumption. I think Reddit is like YouTube. It's consumptive, where you don't have to necessarily participate, but it brings you all kinds of interesting information if you curate it properly.
And I
And
know
that's why.
people have talked about it this way, which
Yeah.
is like it does remind me of the past.
Yeah.
It seems somehow innocent, and at the same time, a lot of the people there take it is like the information is good. Like
Mhm.
I have
It is.
traveled I made travel decisions based on Reddit threads.
And you've gotten good results.
Yeah, I've gotten
Yeah.
good results.
My
It's
sons use it completely.
good system.
Let me ask you about another cultural thing, because this is all over Reddit and all over social media. South Park has done it again. I have to say, whatever is in these people's drinks is working for them. The third episode of the show, current season, continued to mock the Trump administration. An episode focused on federal takeover in D.C. In the episode, the president is mocked for accepting bribes from big tech CEOs. Sort of real to life. Once again, is in bed with Satan, and yes, still has a micro penis. Let's listen to a clip of Trump receiving gifts from a line of suck-ups, including Tim Cook.
Mr. President, you have so many great ideas. Your leadership is truly beyond anything we have ever had in this country. And you do not have a small penis.
Ah, thanks, gang.
On behalf of the state of Florida, I'd like to give you this gift, a silver-plated space shuttle.
Next. Mr. President, your ideas for the tech industry are so innovative, and you definitely do not have a small penis.
Ah, thanks, gang.
Please accept this gift on behalf of Apple. Next.
So tell me what you think of, it also did take, this latest episode also took some shots at ChatGPT, by the way. But talk about with this show right now, something's in there, Wheaties or whatever the old expression would be.
I think that the timing is really good.
Mhm.
I think there's something about the brute force of the South Park comedy ideology.
Mhm.
I think the show didn't have to change for us to come back to it.
Mhm. What do you mean the brute force of the comedy ideology?
Um,
Explain that.
Their approach is really to just name the thing, right? To just say the thing that to make the subtextual textual. There's no line you don't need to be literate to watch the show, if you know what I mean. Like
Yep,
you don't need to be
absolutely.
visually literate, and you don't need to really have a great sort of sense of cultural literacy. You just have to basically know, like have a gist of what's happening. Especially now. But I mean, these guys, their genius is for I think that's part of their genius, to sort of be declarative as comedians. To not need to have, it's like the Easter egg is an omelet on that show.
You just see it. You just say it.
It's just the thing that they've cracked it open.
Even
You
if
don't
it's
have to
stuff
look
that
for
you
it.
might not agree, like the trans stuff, people complain about that. I just think they go after everybody, right?
I think that's the thing that like always sort of scared me about those guys. I mean, I'm doing an episode with somebody about my relationship with this show. And a lot of where we're starting in this conversation is me sort of thinking through how much the show scared me, because it was forcing me to think differently about things that, as a young person, I thought I understood. And here were people who were basically my age who were making fun of things that I didn't think you could make fun of.
Give me an example.
Jesus.
Yeah, they do make fun of Jesus.
I mean, I'm not I wasn't an extremely religious person, but I didn't have time.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking, and I had lived, I would consider South Park part of the culture war era of the country, right? The beginning of the show was happening at the end of the so-called culture wars.
Right.
And, I'm familiar with Andrea Serrano's Christ Piss and Christopher
Yes.
Feely's work and Madonna.
Mhm.
And yet there was something about the subversiveness of doing that dismantling and undermining in the form of like crude children's animation, right?
Right.
It was actually, the animation is so crude that it isn't for children, because all the
point,
lines are sharp, right?
Yes,
all
but
the
that's the
lines on
point.
those drawings are sharp.
Yeah, one of the things that's interesting about it is, that they can, not that they continue to push against Trump, they will push against anybody, I think. And obviously the tech leaders are perfect for that. I mean, they don't even have to mock them. That's exactly what Tim Cook said, when he was handing him the golden statue,
Right.
essentially, or whatever,
Yes.
the golden, whatever the fuck he handed him. It's just, I think one of the things they do is, as you said, they are brutal. They don't even have to make satire here, right? Because everything is so ridiculous. On some level.
Well, I mean, I think that the one thing that they have changed is the calibration, because when South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, the great, truly great movie musical they made 26 years ago came out, there was a degree of subtlety happening there, because they were taking the satire of the sitcom and essentially overlaying it. They were stretching it to fit a movie musical format. And so the movie is a legitimate musical while also functioning as social and political satire. It's just that in 1999, the culture was different. And so the thing that people were upset about was the way in which it depicted Satan and homosexuals and was having a good time with these conflations. And I found that naughtiness to be really liberating in a way.
I did too. I was not offended, interestingly.
No, and I should have been an offended party as a gay Negro. But I wasn't, because I kind of understood the place that the comedy was coming from.
Yeah.
And I think that in the lifespan of this show, we've seen our relationship to comedy change like 10 times.
Yes. Well, you think about the Book of Mormon too, though, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a great point,
I loved that show so much. And oddly enough, I was there. I saw it several times, and there's a lot of offensive gay things in that, and it's fun, but it's funny.
It's funny.
But it's really funny. And I know it's like, don't pick on the gays. I'm like, it's okay a little bit to pick on them. Like,
I mean, the gays pick on the gays.
The gays pick on the gays, let's be clear.
And other people.
In our meetings when you're not there. But the Book of Mormon, to me, I was recommending someone see it even now, because it's so, I actually may go back and see it again.
I'm going to go back, actually, because I think, for the purposes of this thing that I'm doing, I'm going to go back and see it.
But one of the things is, I was there once.
It's still on Broadway.
With a bunch of Mormons went, because they thought it was funny. Certain Mormons think it's funny too, and it's so insulting to Mormons. But it's interesting that I don't think the Trump administration thinks this is funny, because they have no sense of humor, right? This group of people are not going to, if they continue at it, they may, especially the micro penis part, which is really funny, which is what everybody thinks of Donald Trump. He has a micro penis. That's what is, know.
I mean, Kara, I can see the tie.
Yeah, that's correct.
And the thing that I found scary about Trey Parker and Matt Stone as a kid was that they didn't seem to have any allegiance to anything other than their comedic version of the truth and the joke. Is the joke funny? And after that, we don't care.
This is why I like them. Sometimes I had a real issue with Dave Chappelle, because I didn't mind his making jokes. I was like, do you need to make an hour of them? And some aren't funny. Make it funny. Like the other, at Easter in San Francisco near my house, they have Hot Jesus. Have you ever been to the Hot Jesus contest?
I mean,
it's fantastic.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello. But it's like, someone's like, oh, it's sacrilegious. I'm like, no, it's funny. It's like, if it's not funny, then why do it? And that's what I like.
But the Hot Jesus, come on. But again, I think that the return of this show has been really useful to remind us. I mean, because we've had more fights about whether comedy can be comedy in the last, this has been going on since 9/11, honestly.
Right.
What can be funny? What are we allowed to laugh at? When can we laugh?
Right.
What now is comedy is really about who the comedian is.
Right.
And the thing about having South Park back is nobody's changed. It's not like in Just Like That, where Carrie, Miranda, and Charlotte are now no longer 28 to 34. They're in their mid 50s. They're
Right.
like mid to late 50s and figuring out how the world works. The world has changed, but the people in South Park have not.
Have not. That's exactly right. And it's still funny. Well, anyway.
And it's still funny.
All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about the latest to join the podcast game, Taylor Swift. Here we are with Wesley. We're back with more news. Last week, Taylor Swift went on her boyfriend Travis Kelce's podcast to announce her newest album. As usual, she broke the internet. The episode had 1.3 million live viewers, which is almost double the audience that tuned in to see Donald Trump on Joe Rogan. At the time of the taping, the episode has 20 million YouTube views in total. Meanwhile, Spotify reported the episode has become one of the past year's highest performing within just one day of release. Increased female viewership of the shows by 600%. Not a surprise.
600%?
600%.
God damn.
I know. I guess the dudes were watching that. Talk about that. What she can do whenever it wants. I mean, of course, Donald Trump is saying she's not hot anymore. She's still hot. She still remains as hot.
I'm sorry. Can we pause for a minute? What did he mean she's not hot anymore?
I don't know, because she is hot. She looked beautiful on that show.
Like, does he mean... Did he mean it like that, or she's not?
No,
like...
she's no longer the thing. She's not. I'm like, she's still the thing.
What is he talking about?
Exactly.
This man. I mean, I can't talk about big tie energy. I just can't do it. I just won't do it.
Yeah, exactly. So, what do you think
like
about this
long
episode?
tie energy? Is that what it is?
Long tie energy. Yeah.
First of all, I found it interesting that she basically was using it to. She was using this appearance to announce an album, essentially, right?
Yes, exactly.
It wasn't as though this show needed it. You know, there are shows that would love to have Taylor Swift come on for the numbers. This didn't feel like a numbers play to me.
No.
It felt like she was trying something out. I mean, she kind of said it herself on the episode. But I think that. You know, I mean, this is a show that has Adam Sandler come on. Brad Pitt's been on it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like it's not a desert for celebrity guests.
Right, right.
So having her come on, it felt kind of sweet and to the extent that,
she was
like,
adorable.
A thing that turns into an album album release announcement can be sweet, pure, and innocent. This felt a lot like that. That sort of... Listening to the show, the two of them, you know, the brothers, Travis and Jason Kelce, you know, who have these, like, they have like very different off the show lives, and to bring their different personalities and energies into the show is often fun. It really does feel like two brothers.
Yeah,
I
they
think
have a nice relationship.
They have a good relationship, but it was interesting watching Jason try to drive this particular episode.
Oh, because it was all Taylor. Right, yes, right. My brother's famous girlfriend. Ugh.
Well, but also the way that Travis Kelce is just hype manning her pretty much the entire conversation. It was just interesting seeing the show dynamics change around the arrival of this person.
Right. Well, that must be like that outside, right? She's got to suck up all the energy, doesn't it?
I've heard that happens. I've heard
even
that
if
happens.
She doesn't try, she can't help it, right? Because one of the things I thought about the show is, again, like Sarah Jessica Parker, different. But pound for pound, she's really entertaining. Like, she's really, like, you can't stop watching her. And I don't know why that is, right? And so wherever she appears, and she even sings about it, right? You know, my daughter was dancing to Anti-Hero the other day. I don't know why she's so attractive to people, which is especially women, that it was a completely pleasurable experience watching it in a way that was very satisfying, I thought. I don't know. Maybe not for others.
No, I listened to it. I didn't watch it. I watched it like a tiny little bit, but I listened to it.
You gotta watch it because she leans into. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh no, I mean, I was allowed to imagine it, right? I find I don't know. It's interesting. She's an interesting physical presence. And I kind of like her better in my imagination, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, it was interesting listening to the three of them talk about the Eras Tour in their different ways. And, you know, the way that, I mean, I had forgotten the entire story of the relationship, right? Like, I mean, he was at the show and was like, I got to know who this person is. I mean, he's the luckiest fan in the world. We all know this. He gets to go home with the thing that he went to the show to see. And she seems happy with that. I think that the way she talked about that show was interesting to me in that I have a lot of wonder about what these tours are like for the artists. And, unlike the Beyonce concert documentary of her Renaissance tour, the Eras tour film didn't have a lot of backstage stuff.
It didn't. You're right.
She wanted to sort of preserve the magic of the live experience, whereas the Beyonce film to me was fascinating because she wanted to kind of enhance the mythology of the achievement of the live experience by humanizing the person who becomes someone else on stage.
Yes.
And so it was great listening to her talk. I mean, it was enlightening hearing Taylor Swift talk about toe spacers and all of the physical toll
But she does that. If you look at that, I would encourage you to go back and watch Miss Americana again.
That's true.
That gives you an
I haven't seen that
enormous
in a while.
insight into her.
Yes.
Watch it now when she's famous, because at the time she was on a downswing, right? During
Yeah,
that
it was
period.
when it was around the time that Reputation was being
Right.
rebuffed and
Or there's
Lover was
another
about to come
show
out.
of where she's in someone's house where they're singing all country songs.
Mhm.
She's with two of her, and they're just talking about the songs. I mean, I think she's quite accessible and yet unknowable in a lot of ways. And I felt like this
Yes.
was, but you do know a lot about her in a weird way. And I think she may be just like this, right? There's certain people who are, I always think, does a drunk agree with the sober is an expression. When
Yeah,
people are
yeah.
drunk, they're different when they're
Yes,
sober.
yes.
I think sometimes you meet certain people who are exactly the way they are in private and public. And then there's some that are quite different. Like a Johnny Carson would be the perfect example, like shy and kind of
Oh
an
yeah, you
asshole.
would be disappointed to meet him in person
Yes,
because
exactly.
you're not
I think
getting
she's
Tonight Show
pretty
Johnny
much like
Carson.
this. I think she's lived in fame for so long. This is what she is in some ways.
I would agree with that. But there's something about yes. I mean, I think that the thing that I loved about this conversation was how seriously she was taking it in some way.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't there to do all the joshing that the brothers were trying to do.
Right.
And so like Jason would ask a question and she'd be in the middle of answering it. Travis Kelce would kind of interrupt and then they would start doing their brother thing. And she would not even acknowledge that was happening.
Right,
and she would
right.
continue giving her answer.
Right.
And that was, to me, I just felt like she was happy to have this opportunity to just think through herself.
in a safe space, right?
In a
With
place where she wasn't going to be asked a follow-up question, basically.
Right, exactly. Listen, all the results are the results. People are still thrilled with her, which is really interesting. We'll see how this album does, but
We'll see how this album does. What do
It's
you
doing
think is
great.
going to happen to this album, Kara?
It's going to be huge.
Like nobody's gonna care.
Yeah, but how can you top yourself if you're this woman? That's the difficulty of being Taylor Swift.
I will never forget my Night at the Eras tour. I truly will never forget it.
Me neither.
It was one of the most special communal experiences I've had. I've had a lot of special communal experiences. This is definitely in my top 50. And I think one of the things that was special about it was one of the things that she kind of wanted to unpack a little bit, which is like the toll that it took on her body. And you can really, after 2.5 hours, Kara, I watched this show.
Yeah, exhausted.
Well,
at her.
I was fine, but
Mhm.
I was watching it with a friend in front of 3, 13 to 15-year-old girls.
Mhm.
And for the first hour of this show, which really annoyed me because Lover is the opening album, and I'm mostly a Lover person. It's not my favorite Taylor Swift album, but I do there's some great songs on that album. And these girls were screaming for like an hour, just screaming. It didn't matter what, they just screamed the entire first hour of that show. And I couldn't, but, and also like the part of me that is like wanted to turn around and give him like the dirtiest look I possibly could.
don't do
I was
that.
like, don't do not.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be here, Wesley.
Yes,
These people,
Wesley.
this show is for them. It's not
Yeah.
for you. Don't
Yeah.
you old man them.
Yeah.
Just stand there and take it.
That's
But
right.
Kara, at like hour 107,
Mhm.
or sorry, hour 107, at
Yeah.
minute 107,
Yeah.
when Taylor's still going strong, guess who is passed out on the seats behind me?
The kids.
The kids are out.
Yeah,
They
they're out.
don't have
Yeah.
the stamina of
Not
this
for Taylor.
35-year-old woman.
No, she is the bomb.
It's
Anyway.
crazy. She wiped these girls out.
Yep.
And she
now
did it
she
night
did
after
the same
night.
thing with podcasting. She did the same thing.
But I think what I'm saying about the limitations are, the only limitation to me is that I think it keeps her from doing something that I think is really critical for like artistic growth in some way, which is to like be reinterpreting yourself.
Yes,
To
but
be-
she doesn't want to.
I mean, just the act of
Right.
re-recording those songs, she basically does it. I mean, I think
Yeah.
the original recordings are the important artistic document.
Mhm.
The important historical and political document are
Is
the re-recordings, right?
100%. Yeah.
Like one of the greatest things a pop star has ever done
Yes,
is re-record the old material.
that's correct.
It's
But let me
not
just tell you-
artistically as good. To me, she thinks it's better in some ways. Her singing is better, but that's not what I'm showing up for.
Yeah, I agree. But
Um,
let me just tell you, Taylor Swift does as she damn well pleases. That's
Yeah.
all I understand. We have to go.
Newsflash.
Newsflash. And she's going to continue to do so. All right, Wesley, one more quick break. We'll be
Yeah,
back for
all right.
predictions.
Oh.
Okay, Wesley, let's hear a prediction. Anything you want. Anything you want.
I'm really thinking about another thing. I'm going to do an Adam Sandler episode.
Okay, I love Adam Sandler. I'm sorry, I'm not against this.
And I am just obsessed with these directors trying to win this man an Oscar.
Oh, because they're
Like,
trying to the serious ones.
Just everybody wants to try to win. Like the murderer's row of people who have tried to win this man an Academy Award
Mhm.
is just, y'all need to just stop it.
Why?
Just stop.
Why stop?
Because when you stop trying, it will happen. I mean, I don't know. So there's this Noah Baumbach movie coming out toward the end of the year that he is in. And, I really enjoy Noah Baumbach. I enjoy Adam Sandler. This isn't even my favorite Adam Sandler mode. I won't even get into it here. But like, I believe for a lot of reasons, the stars will align for Adam Sandler to at least go to the Academy Awards with his name on a list.
Okay.
That's a prediction.
That's what you predict. And he's done a lot of stuff. I mean, remember Spanglish in 2004?
I just watched the sandwich scene from that movie.
It's such a good movie. It was amazing. I love Taylor.
The lighting in that movie, the reason I can't really go back and keep watching it is it's some of the worst lighting I've ever seen in a movie.
See, I don't even pay
Just
attention.
truly bizarre. Like it's all lit from above with fluorescence.
Oh, it
Nobody
is?
looks good in the indoor
Tay
scenes.
Leone always looks good, and so
Yeah,
does
but
Paz Vega.
she's
I'm sorry.
mostly outside. You'll notice
Oh.
Tay Leone is mostly outside in this movie.
Interesting.
She's got like 3 indoor scenes. Everybody else is inside.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I think he's not a bad thing because he is actually every now and then you see very good acting, even though he does the he like a little like Jerry Lewis.
Can you do
like
that
if you
again?
have- There's a really good SNL skit where he visits his relatives and they're like, "I think you're taking my character," and they're all his cousins.
Oh
And they
yeah.
all it's really great actually. But he's I think he's like Jerry Lewis to me, and Jerry Lewis I think was a fascinating actor in some ways.
Yes. He's more interesting to me than, well, no, that's not true. I mean, Jerry Lewis peaked at his peak.
Mhm.
They're comparable. Jerry Lewis has more cocaine in him.
Mhm.
And Adam Sandler is more weed.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Or
yeah.
beer. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
but if there's a
Weed and
drug,
beer.
if there's a drug that if like what is their drug or what is the drug that personifies them? Jerry
Yeah.
Lewis is hands down
Cocaine.
cocaine.
Uh,
What's a
what's yours?
speedball?
Speedball. Cannonball.
Well, I mean, Like if the
Yours
like
is a
maybe it's a
cannonball.
speedball that's Jerry Lewis.
Yeah, speedball. That's true. Who knows? Or a drink or a martini. Just a lot. No, that would be Dean
That's
Martin.
Dean. That's
That's
Dean.
Dean. You're right. Rodeo dodo. Anyway, so you predict he's going to get an Oscar. You predict
Nomination. Let's not go crazy, Kara.
Okay, all right. Because who's going to like hip check him? What does he have to do? Because he's been in some serious movies. He has.
Yeah,
been.
but that's not enough. You
Yeah.
really, I mean, like
can't do
truly,
it.
do I think he should have been? I mean, it just hasn't happened because it hasn't needed to happen.
You know why?
yet.
Because he does Happy Gilmore too. That's why. Even if it's highly
But I think
successful.
the thing that makes him great is that he doesn't want it. Like the thing that makes him
No.
great is that he's doing Happy Gilmore too.
Yeah, he is.
Like
It's very successful.
this is
I
a person
enjoyed
who
it.
really enjoys himself.
Yeah.
I miss weird Adam Sandler, and that's
you?
I won't get it. Like that's the thing I really was going to try to get into, but I'm not going to do it. You will
Yeah.
have to come back for the Adam Sandler episode.
Okay, I
where
can't
They'll
wait.
mostly be about
All right.
none of the things we are talking about, but this other mode of Adam Sandler that I
All
really.
right. I can't wait to listen
really
to
love.
it. Well, this has been great. We want to hear from you. Send us your questions about business tech or whatever's on your mind. Go to nymag.com/pivot to submit a question for the show or call 855-51-PIVOT. Okay, that's the show. Wesley, you're wonderful.
I
think you're
can't
wonderful.
believe I got to like spend 75 minutes talking to you.
Yeah, oh, come on. You can hang out with me in real life.
I know.
People can listen to Cannonball or Parlando, whatever you want to call it.
Cannonball. It's not called Parlando. You got to be real clear about that.
Parlando. I'm good in my head. I'm going to think Parlando.
Well, fine, but it's Cannonball.
Wherever they get their podcasts, you're on YouTube as well. Even though you don't like it, you got a nice shine up. You look great.
Thank you.
You look really all the times when some of them less. I'm not going to say anything about Ross Duhad at all. But anyway,
I think you just said it.
I just did say it. There's no shining possible for that man. Anyway,
But he's got other attributes. I don't know.
Okay. Sure, why not? Okay, I'm not going to, don't make me insult him. I have a name for him and everything else.
You
Anyway,
do?
I do. I'm not going to tell it to you on the show. I'm not going to do it.
Oh,
But
well,
ask Amanda. She knows. She knows. She's
All right.
named him. Okay. Thanks for listening to Pivot. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, we'll be back next week. And please listen to Cannonball. It's a great show.
Thank you,
Wesley
Kara.
is a very prescient person on all things culture. You always make me think, and I really appreciate that on lots of ways, and ways I didn't think I would think about. But
Back at you.
Thank you. Anyway, I will read us out. Today's show is produced by Lara Naaman, Zoë Marcus, Taylor Griffin, and Kevin Oliver. Ernie Indradat engineered this episode. Jim Mackil edited this video. Nishat Kurwa is Vox Media's executive producer of podcasts. Make sure to follow Pivot on your favorite podcast platform. Thanks for listening to Pivot from New York Magazine and Vox Media. You can subscribe to the magazine at nymag.com/pod. We'll be back next week for another breakdown of all things tech and business. The days to Scott are ticking away. But Wes, I really appreciate you being here.